So let's talk about music discovery. We all got into music somehow. I know there are some people in the world that just don't listen to music, and I'm going to say right now, sociopath, you are damaged. And not in the same way that people who listen to music are damaged. But we all got into music in our own way. We all grew up probably adopting some form of music from our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, maybe a family friend. Maybe you had somebody in your life who played guitar, and then that's how you started getting into that type of music, or whatever. We all got introduced to it somehow at whatever point. And me personally, I could have, in many ways in my life, I could have gone a lot of different directions with music and like other things like my interests and stuff. I mean, hell, there was probably a point where I could have been a varsity basketball player, but if I just gave a shit about basketball. But I played a lot of basketball growing up, but just because my mom wanted me to play sports. I also played trumpet. I've done a lot of. I should do a podcast talking about some things that you wouldn't expect that I've done. Okay, enough about that. Anyway, so my introduction to music was mainly like the same source, but in two different ways. So it was either through my dad, who listened to a lot of classic rock, like Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Leonard Skinner, and stuff like that. And I usually listened to that with him through being on the car radio, through a radio station at the time, which was 1015 The Hawk, and now it's 1049 The Hawk, and then it's followed by an eagle screeching, because it's a fucking radio station and they're the cringiest thing on the planet. I listened to a lot of that stuff through my dad, and being on job sites with him where he'd have a radio playing and we would just be painting or doing plumbing or electrical work or putting up plywood or doing whatever with fucking Aerosmith and stuff playing in the background, and that was took up a lot of my musical interest growing up, and that's what I got into. And the other side of that was my mom being in the car with her or cleaning rental houses with her, and again being on the job. I made the video, or I made the podcast talking about delivering newspapers and listening to music there. I do the same thing with my mom during the day, delivering newspapers, and most of the time it was listening to a radio station called 98.3 WLNH, and that's where we listened to a lot of like current and just recently past pop music, pop and rock and some alternative. So bands like Incubus and fucking Britney Spears, Alanis Morissette and stuff like that. Like a lot of that, whatever. I have a whole playlist dedicated to classic music and the 98.3 music, the Fray and stuff like that. So, and both of those were shaping two different sides of me that kind of clashed somewhere in the middle. Both of those adopted by my parents, and I was pretty content with that music. Although I didn't have an iPod for the longest time. I don't. I think I got an iPod. My first iPod was maybe I don't know, man, like sixth grade, seventh grade, maybe. I don't recall, which was 2007, 2006. And most of the time I was using like a CD player to listen to music, and which was a CD player passed down by my older half brother, who had like a big like I don't know, like weird cross sticker on it. It's a gray CD player with a cross sticker, and I would listen to random CDs I had there, and which wasn't that much. I did not have a lot of CDs at the time. I couldn't really get them, and my parents didn't have any to like really give to me. But then it kind of shifted when my friend Justin came along, who was my older brother's friend. A lot of my early friends were just vicarious proxy friends through my older brother, Henry. So, like this kid named Andrew, this kid named Dave, actually, two kids named Dave, Justin, Sean, like a bunch of people. That's kind of how I got introduced to people in my life besides school, because I didn't get along with most of the people in my school like after fourth or fifth grade. I got weird and they were all in their own sect of weird or whatever. Justin introduced me to the metal side of things. Things like Metallica, Korn, Dope, Linkin Park. I think I found Linkin Park on my own, but like it was the same genre, 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. And he got me into that. He showed me Alone I Break by Korn, Right Now by Korn, the animal I have become by 3 Days Grace, shit like that. And then that sent me down a path of like, ooh, this has groove, this has a lot of personality to it. It's loud, it's heavy, it's angry, because I had a lot of anger, so I was like, I can relate to this a lot. and they're saying things that I can understand. I started getting more into that. I borrowed Korn CDs from him. I think I borrowed some mixed CDs from him. My brother Henry was getting really into skateboarding, so I listened to like, and he would have his own like skate tapes he would make on VHS and on CDs, or rather printed burned DVDs, and he would make skate videos. And a lot of those had music I got into, like Incubus through him, Hinder. I can't think of stuff off the top of my head right now, but I was getting some music from him, Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that. Which God, I cannot stand that band now, but they were part of my musical development. I would borrow CDs from Justin, and then as we got our family computer, I would start. And I was like starting to watch Naruto and stuff like that. I look up Naruto videos on YouTube, which actually led me to a lot of AMVs or anime music videos. And that's how I got introduced to more Linkin Park. I remember like a Linkin Park music video for Lying From You. There was Franz Ferdinand Take Me Out Naruto music video. There was a lot of 3 Days Grace, like I Hate Everything About You, which focused a lot on like the Chunin exam fights in that video. There was the Rasmas, him, a lot. So Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Pokemon, and a lot of those anime music videos started really like breaking off into small webbing, like glass crack directions of music. A lot of like random stuff. So like bands I would discover where I'd know one song by them and I just listened to that one song. Like In the Shadows by the Rasmas was one of my favorite anime music videos I watched. That's how I got more into like Nickelback, because of a Far Away kind of like love letter music video between Naruto and Hinata from part one, which was great because my music palette had gone from just generic pop and classic rock to alternative to metal to new metal to like some, I don't know, just some weird genre blending stuff. The Used, I got into The Used from my brother Henry because he put I think The Bird and the Worm was one of his music video, was one of his skateboard videos. Also Take It Away by The Used, and then getting into My Chemical Romance because of a Helena. Is it Helena or Helena? I never knew how to pronounce it. I always called it Helena, but I think somebody said it's Helena. I don't know. AMV for that. Then once I got my first iPod, an old iPod Shuffle, I was only able to get about 8 songs on it because I had no real way to get music on it. I got music on it once, or I think I gave it to a friend and they put some music on it and gave it back to me. Or no, I think I did that the second time. I think I was only able to get one time I was able to put music on this iPod, and I had Three Doors Down. I listened to like Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. I had the Baloney song, the Oscar Mayer Baloney song, if you guys remember that. I had a lot of Adam Sandler joke songs like Piece of Shit Car and stuff like that, and Working Out or Having Sex, if you guys remember that stand up or that comedy routine, whatever the fuck that was, where like I think it was Adam Sandler. I don't remember. It probably wasn't Adam Sandler. Listening to like two people make sounds, and there's like, now are they working out or having sex? And all the time it was like, no, they're working out, you pervert, whatever the fuck that was. And I had those 8 songs like listening to on a loop on this little dinky iPod Shuffle. And then I think I gave it to a friend, and they dumped a bunch of whatever music they had on it, and that's how I found some other music. I can't tell you what music, but that was whatever. I think it was stuff I already had. And then I got into bringing my CD player and my iPod to school, and I would borrow CDs from, I think, this girl named Sophia. She let me borrow a CD that said my mix, or like my shit playlist and stuff like that. It was just some burn songs. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what songs were on those CDs. But then I got into burning my own CDs and making my own mixes and doing stuff like that. I think, and at the time I was using LimeWire to download music. I was using, was it Views, VUZE, torrent downloader for music and other stuff like that. Then as I was growing up, I went a little bit deeper into one side of that music, into like the metal, the new metal, because once we hit like 8th grade and stuff, I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil and distress, and a lot of mental stuff was changing because of shit going on in my life, which led me to go down a bit heavier of a music route, a bit angrier, but I still listened to like the classic rock and stuff like that. I think one of my first concerts was a Leonard Skinner concert with like And then I went to a Paramore concert with Tegan and Sarah that opened up for them. And I went to a few Leonard Skinner concerts because my parents would try to annually go whenever they went to a venue near us. They would try to go see Leonard Skinner all the time. Yeah, and then from there, just I didn't even have Spotify until probably I think like 2020, 2019, 2020. I believe, all right, yeah, I want to say it was 2019 or 2020 when I actually first installed Spotify and started using that regularly. Because up until then, I was using an iPod Classic because I just like analog technology. I like that stuff because it's a lot easier. I didn't want to have to deal with ads, and I was familiar with it, so I didn't want to make the change, and I didn't want to have to go through the problem of making a lot of playlists. Oh, I just remembered. Sorry, my friend Ashley introduced me to Black Veil Brides, and that led to me getting my first Black Veil Brides tattoo, and that must have been, I want to say 2009, 2010, maybe something like that. So she introduced me to that, which is pretty cool. Thankful for that because that influenced a lot of my style as well. I started using Spotify within the past 5 or 6 years, and actually, obviously, that led me to branch out into more music because I could just browse music openly without having to go to YouTube and download YouTube MP3 links and drag them into my iTunes and then update my iTunes and sync it onto my iPod. And that was it was like a whole thing. Like once every month or two, I would do like a whole iPod refresh where I'd get more music, update my playlist. It was like, oh, yeah, a whole new thing. It felt nice and fresh. And but yeah, then I got into Spotify, and then from there it was just evolving. My friend Jake had introduced me in middle school to like a Mice and Men, Miss May I, Memphis Mayfire, and stuff like that. And then that stuff I only listened to like the Flood album from A Mice and Men and a couple of songs by Memphis Mayfire and stuff like that. And then as I got into my Spotify, I was able to dive a little bit deeper into these artists and find a few more songs. And now I'm sitting in my all my music playlist, which has on Spotify has about 110 hours of music on it. Oh, and if I could, how could I forget? Getting into Avenged Sevenfold in seventh or eighth grade or something like that, and just having Avenged Sevenfold like take over my life. I think it was Avenged Sevenfold and Linkin Park were my two biggest bands that I listened to religiously, and then a subset of Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, 3 Days Grace, shit like that. And those were all like my like B tier music that I listened to just enough because I didn't like take the dive into them quite yet because I was so hyper focused on Avenged Sevenfold and Linkin Park, and that shit got me through middle school, and with some a little bit of Korn here and there with a few songs. And then, of course, Korn exploded for me and has just become my favorite band. I think I mostly got really turned on to Korn. What album? I think Path of Totality really, really, really got. What the fuck? I just clicked on my animated background, which is Ryoko Matsui from Kill la Kill, and I clicked on my fucking wallpaper because it's wallpaper engine, and it just started playing the "Don't Lose Your Way" theme song. Sorry about that. So anyway, yeah, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit because as I'm going, I'm remembering different bands. I want to mention them, like Breaking Benjamin. Got into Breaking Benjamin around the same time as 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. But again, just a couple of songs. Most of my music interest was like 5 or less songs by a band that I listened to on a loop because I don't like to. I was too anxious to break out and find new music. I don't know why. I was just so stubborn about not getting into the bands. And then there was a few like Avenged Sevenfold and Linkin Park that I just listened to on a fucking loop. But yeah, nowadays my music has evolved to I'll listen to anything except for country. I used to hate rap, all types of rap. I thought Eminem was like the worst artist of all time, but that was just because I was being edgy and stubborn and not willing to give it a try. And nowadays I love rap. I mean certain rap. I like a lot of like mixed rap, alternative, new metal rap, rap metal, stuff like that, like Dropout Kings, fucking a Ghost Main's pretty decent. Obviously, you have like hip hop influences with Linkin Park and stuff, and hip hop with Gorillaz. Oh man, dude, Gorillaz. I think Gorillaz was one of the first bands I got into just by the music videos. That's when I actually found music videos. I was like, okay, so enough about AMVs. Back when we were on a shared family computer, I was like, all right, what is this song? I think I saw Feel Good Inc. In an anime music video. That went, what is this song? Or maybe it was recommended in the feed, and I went, what is this cartoon character? What show is this from? And I click on it, and it was the music video for Feel Good Inc., the music video for Clint Eastwood, and I don't know what happened, man. I discovered that something probably 2006, 2007, and then once 2007 to 2008 hit, and I got into Gorillaz, I listened to, I think, Dare like 400 times in a semester, and Gorillaz completely took over my life, and that was like just such a pivotal moment for me because that's where I got more into doing a lot more artwork by drawing the characters of gorillas and drawing more anime characters and doing my own stuff. And so music had a lot more of an impact to me besides just listening to music. It also inspired my art. It inspired it was an inspiration, a release for a lot of my emotional stress that I was having going on, and it was an escape. Obviously, it was an escape for me. I mean, without music at that time, I don't honestly know if I would have made it. Just because of I just all the shit that I went through in middle school, in school and out of school, really put me in such a bad place that not to get too real, I was not in the right mindset to continue life. So music definitely kept me grounded, definitely kept me in a place where I could feel understood and actually express a lot of that rage and not let it build up. Hell, there was a point where I was driving, and to be fully real, I was going to crash into a tree and try to eject myself through the windshield. And as I was speeding up to go hit the tree, Black Veil Brides was on shuffle, and the song Never Give In came on, legitimately came on, and probably saved my life. I stepped on the brakes, I pulled to the side of the road, and I cried because Never Give In came on. Jesus, the furnace just kicked on, scared the shit out of me. Um, yeah, and then even nowadays, with me doing my vocal cover channel, a lot of me wanting to do vocal covers is just so I can sing and let out a lot of emotions and aggression. So, music for me is more than just music. It really is. It's an escape, it's an understanding, it's a way that I've been linked to people in my life and to other properties in my life. And without music, I would be a very different person. I'd be probably a very boring person. I'd probably be rocking a shaved head and aviators, you know? Like, that would be me. I'd probably still be skateboarding, though. I just liked skateboarding, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening. Let me know how music impacted your life on a significant way, or maybe somebody else you know that music has such an impact on them. Leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Spotify. Check out my book series, vengeancebooks.com, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.